Joining us now in studio, Mr. Herb Zurkowsky from the Montreal Gazette and Didier Ormejuste from RDS, and obviously a former CFL player. Thanks for doing this, guys. And I'm going to jump right into this. Let's talk about Chad Johnson. What are your expectations and your impressions so far?
I had some doubts, to tell you the truth, Wilder, when they signed him. He's been out of the league for so long. He's 36 years old, but he's been nothing but a consummate professional. He comes to work every day. He has a good attitude. He has not been a distraction. I do have some concerns. They have him playing the Z position, which is the widest position on the field, the longest throw. I just don't know how many balls he's going to see this year.
Yeah, the question is, how long is he going to be able to keep that good attitude if the Alouettes offense doesn't get going? They really struggled last week in Calgary, so it'll be something, to keep an eye on.
You can have these big names. You can bring in all the ex-NFLers that you want, but wins are the most important thing. They've dropped their first two preseasons, and obviously their season opener against Calgary, like you just mentioned, Didier. What's wrong with the Owls, and how do they fix it?
Well, to me, at least, to start with the quarterback, Troy Smith. I mean, he was horrendous last Saturday in Calgary. The coaching staff has to find a way to fix him. His mechanics are really, really bad right now. He's inaccurate. He didn't look that bad last season, but it started with the quarterback. If Troy Smith doesn't play any better, I don't see how the Alouettes are going to be able to have a winning season. And
the problem is, of course, they're already down their offensive coordinator. They fired Rick Warman 9 days into training camp, so they've really set this offense back, I'd say, a half a season.
You mentioned Troy Smith there, Didier. Now, obviously, massive shoes to fill with Anthony Calvillo gone. What are your impressions of him, I guess? And I guess how does he step things up a bit?
Well, I mean, starting off with trying to be more accurate, as I mentioned. Yesterday we were at practice. We noticed that they simplified the offense for him. So we'll see if it's going to be able, to help him. Because last year, he did play well at the end of the regular season when he got some playing time. But really, I think he needs to improve on his accuracy, or else he doesn't have a chance to succeed.
What's your take on Troy, Herb?
A great leader, a strong arm, but it really doesn't mean anything in the Canadian Football League. He really looks like he's regressed from a season ago, and I think that's because of the system and the coaching.
Okay, well, speaking of coaching, Tom Higgins, what's your impressions of him so far, and how is he dealing with the tough start?
Well, he's a very nice man. He's a gentleman, never loses his cool. You can't help but to root for him. I think he has a bit of a grace period because, as you said, he doesn't have Anthony Calvillo anymore. He's walked into a very delicate situation, but look, he's going to have to win. Last year, they wasted no time getting rid of Dan Hawkins. 2-3, 5 games. They fired him on the bye week after a win. So the noose is going to be tighter on Tom if he doesn't start winning games.
Your thoughts on Tom Higgins in the start?
Well, I mean, it's really hard for me to like him since he's the one who cut me 11 years ago. But
you called him a CFL player. He was a CFL player for about 5 hours.
Yeah, because of Tom Higgins. But he is a nice man. He's always been nice to me.
And you've never forgiven him, have you?
No, and I never will.
No,
but,
nor should you.
I'm petty like that. What do you want me to say? But no, I mean, as Herb said, he's on really short leash. But let's not forget that Jim Popp, the Alouettes GM, didn't hire him. So it'll be interesting to see, if the Alouettes, are not able to have a good start to the season, how long is he going to stay?
Okay, I just want to we don't normally do this on the panel, but I'd like to try this. I'd like to open the floor up to you guys, and maybe you have something to say to Tom Higgins, Didier, but Herbie, we'll start with you, and just a general comments about the team.
I've covered this team since 1997. From what I saw last week, this is the worst Montreal team I have ever seen over that span. This is a team in total disarray offensively. This is a team that is now dysfunctional. A general manager going into the last year of his contract. They seem to be in no rush to hire him. They've gone through coaches, they've gone through offensive coordinators. It's just not a stable situation.
Didier, any response to that quickly?
Yeah, well, I mean, it all started off with the owner, Mr. Robert Watanabe. He's the one, who hired Tom Higgins, without consulting with Jim Popp. Higgins hired Rick Warman that the Alouettes fired after only 9 days of training camp. So where is Bob Watanabe in all this? That's what I'd like to know.
All right, thanks a lot for this, guys, and your insight on all this. We'll see you next time.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you.